Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel as well as my other YouTube channels and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a UFO incident video on Edwards Air Force Base from 1965. Thought I'd already done this one, but I guess not. So, here we go. This is one of the more well-documented ones. The issue with this one, the reason you haven't heard about it before, I think, there's a lot of people that have. I'm not saying you haven't, but the reason it was out of the limelight for so long was because they classified all of it for decades, okay, until well after 2000. So you gotta keep that in mind. So here we go. On October 7th, 1965, Tech Sergeant Chuck Sorrell was the senior air traffic controller on duty in the flight control tower. At about 1:30 a.m., he saw an object in the night sky. It was green with pulsing red and white lights. It was moving south near the rocket test site. Now, he noted that the wind direction was from the west, so it could not have been any kind of a balloon. It's difficult for a balloon to travel against the wind, or perpendicular to the wind. It's going to go with the wind. You see what I'm saying? Excuse me. A little drink of coffee there. Sorrell contacted Edwards main runway, Edwards radar approach control, the Los Angeles Air Defense Sector, the Boron radar tower, the Riverside radar tower, the Victorville radar tower, and the San Pedro radar tower. And all of them confirmed the visual sightings and the radar contacts. During this time, the object was joined by 6 others, and they all began flying back and forth different directions. And this was all at low altitude in various directions. People could see them from the ground. So, and because they were moving all different directions, they couldn't be balloons, like we said, because the wind was coming from the west. So, you can't go west if the wind is from the west if you're in a balloon. You see what I mean? Anyway, at 0200, that's 2 o'clock in the morning, the UFO responsible officer was awakened and began observing the situation. Now, there's some discrepancy as to whether or not every base had a UFO officer, but that's what they called him on the tapes. So that's what I'm going with. This officer claimed that the objects looked like aircraft to him, but all other observers claimed otherwise. It is quite possible that this UFO officer had no aircraft experience. He might not have known what he was talking about. Of course, it is also possible that the UFO officer is ordered to say, hey, that's just an aircraft. Don't pay attention to it, kind of thing. Part of the cover-up that we know happened for decades. We honestly don't know. At 0320 approximately, shortly after 3, a pilot was awakened and an F-106 Delta Dart was scrambled to investigate. At the time, this was top of the line, so keep that in mind. Now, by that time, the objects were heading away from the base and were climbing. The intercept aircraft tried to get close enough to observe the objects, guided by Tech Sergeant Sorrell, but the objects were traveling rapidly and were out-climbing the F-106. When the interceptor reached 40,000 feet, it was evident that it could not catch them. The objects shot straight up into space and were gone. Now, I want to do another note here. They had to find an aircraft that was not nuclear armed. Okay? This particular base, Edwards, is part of, at the time, was part of our nuclear deterrent base. So most of the airplanes on that base were armed with nuclear weaponry of some type. They had to find one that wasn't nuclear armed to go and check this thing out. That's what part of the problem that took them so long. This is a rare case. You have multiple eyewitnesses on the ground, in multiple towers, and in an aircraft. Added to that, you have radar tapes from 8 different radar sites, as well as recordings of all the communications. The United States Air Force classified all of this data for over 40 years. This information has recently been declassified and has allowed the people involved to begin their own investigations and to start asking questions. For years they couldn't. Well, now they can. So, yeah, this Edwards Air Force Base thing was huge. I thought I had already done it, but I guess I didn't, so because I can't find it on my channel. So here you go. If it's a duplicate, I apologize. But at any rate, yeah, anybody else who has any more information or knows anything else that I've left out, or if I got something wrong, please put it in the comments. I'm sure people would love to read it. You folks have a good day now. God bless one and all. Devo Poland, a scientific representative of a pacifist race called the Gandhiri, is sent away as an exchange officer. His objective, to learn the one skill his species never developed, to fight. And he's sent to learn that skill from the one species who does it better than any other in the galaxy, humans. If you like science fiction with an upbeat military tone, check out my novel, Vanguard 1.